Retirement. For many, it's the ultimate financial goal, but the path there can feel shrouded in mystery, filled with complex advice and intimidating numbers. Where do you even begin to plan for your future freedom? The single biggest question that stumps most people is this: how much money do I actually need to stop working? It's the foundational piece of the entire retirement puzzle, and the answer can seem impossible to find. You might hear huge abstract figures thrown around: $1 million, $2 million, even $5 million. These numbers can be so discouraging that they prevent people from even trying to save, feeling the goal is simply unreachable. But what if there was a simple rule of thumb, a straightforward guideline that could cut through the noise and give you a concrete personal target to aim for? A number based on your own life. This is where the 4% rule comes in. It's one of the most famous and widely used guidelines in personal finance for a reason. It provides a clear, actionable starting point for your retirement planning. This simple principle was developed from a famous study that analyzed historical market data to find a safe withdrawal rate. It sought to answer how much you could take from your savings each year without running out. Essentially, the rule helps you work backward. Instead of guessing a random savings goal, it uses your current or desired lifestyle expenses to calculate exactly what you need to have invested to maintain that lifestyle. So, are you ready to find your number? In this video, we'll break down exactly what the 4% rule is, how to use it, and whether it's the right guideline for your financial future. Let's define the 4% rule in the simplest terms. It states that you can safely withdraw 4% of your initial retirement savings in your first year of retirement and then adjust that amount for inflation each following year. Imagine your total retirement savings as a big pie. The 4% rule suggests that you can take a small slice, just 4% of the total, in that first year to live on. The goal is to have your remaining investments, the other 96% of the pie, continue to grow. Ideally, this growth will be enough to replace the money you withdrew and then some to keep up with inflation. This concept originated from a 1998 study called the Trinity Study. Researchers analyzed historical stock and bond market returns to see how different withdrawal rates would have survived over various 30-year periods. They found that a 4% withdrawal rate had a very high success rate, meaning portfolios were highly unlikely to run out of money over a 30-year retirement. It became the gold standard for financial planners. The key here is that it's based on your initial savings. If you retire with $1 million, you'd withdraw $40,000 in year one. You don't recalculate the 4% based on market fluctuations each year. After that first year, you simply adjust the dollar amount for inflation. If inflation was 3%, your next year's withdrawal would be $41,200, regardless of what your portfolio did. This provides a stable, predictable income stream in retirement, which is crucial for budgeting and peace of mind. It protects you from withdrawing too much when the market is down or too little when it's up. So, how do you use this rule to find your magic number? It's actually a simple two-step process that flips the rule on its head. It all starts with understanding your spending. Step 1, calculate your estimated annual expenses in retirement. Think about everything: housing, food, healthcare, travel, and hobbies. Be realistic. This is the amount of money you'll need to live comfortably each year. For example, let's say after reviewing your budget, you determine you'll need $50,000 per year to cover all your expenses and live the life you want in retirement. Step 2, multiply your annual expenses by 25. This is the shortcut. If withdrawing 4% equals your annual expenses, then your total nest egg needs to be 25 times your annual expenses. Why 25? It's just the inverse of 4%. Think of it this way: 100% divided by 4% equals 25. This simple multiplication gives you your target retirement savings goal. So, using our example of $50,000 in annual expenses, we multiply that by 25. The result is $1,250,000. That's your target number. This number, $1.25 million, is the amount you need to have invested on the day you retire. According to the 4% rule, this portfolio could sustain your $50,000 lifestyle. This calculation provides a clear, tangible goal. It transforms the vague idea of saving for retirement into a specific target, which is a powerful motivator for anyone on their financial journey. Let's walk through another example to make this crystal clear. Meet Alex, a simple character who is planning for retirement. Alex wants to figure out exactly how much to save for the future. First, Alex sits down and budgets out their estimated annual retirement expenses. Alex doesn't just guess, they look at current spending and project it forward, accounting for changes like a paid-off mortgage. Alex calculates that housing will be $18,000, food and utilities will be $12,000, healthcare will be $7,000, and travel and hobbies will be $13,000 per year. This is a detailed budget. Adding it all up, Alex's total estimated annual expenses come to $50,000. This is the income Alex's investments will need to generate each year without depleting the principal over time. Now for the easy part. Alex takes the annual expense total of $50,000 and applies the rule by multiplying it by 25. This will reveal the total savings goal. The calculation is 50,000 times 25, which equals $1,250,000. This is Alex's financial independence number. The target is now clear and defined. With this number in mind, Alex can now create a focused savings and investment plan. Alex knows that every dollar saved is a step closer to reaching that $1.25 million goal. This process transforms retirement from a distant dream into a measurable project. By calculating your own number, you can gain control and clarity over your financial future, just like Alex did. But why 4%? Why not 2 or 6? The logic behind this specific number is based on the historical performance of financial markets. It's a balance between growth and preservation. The assumption is that your investment portfolio, typically a mix of stocks and bonds, will generate an average annual return that is higher than 4%. Historically, this has been the case over long periods. Let's say your portfolio earns an average of 7% in a year. You withdraw your 4%. That leaves a 3% surplus. This surplus is crucial for two main reasons. First, that remaining 3% helps your portfolio grow, ensuring your principal amount increases over time. This provides a buffer for years when the market performance is not as strong. Second, and most importantly, that surplus is designed to combat inflation. Inflation is the slow increase in the cost of goods and services, which reduces the purchasing power of your money over time. If inflation is 2% for the year, your 3% surplus covers that cost of living increase and still leaves 1% to be reinvested back into your portfolio, helping it grow even more. This delicate balance is the secret sauce. The withdrawal is small enough that it allows the portfolio to replenish itself and fight off the eroding effects of inflation, preserving your capital for decades. So, the 4% rule isn't just a random number, it's a carefully considered rate designed to let your money work for you, even after you've stopped working for it. Now, it's crucial to understand that the 4% rule is not a law of physics. It's a guideline, and it has some important limitations and criticisms that you should be aware of before adopting it. First, the original study was based on a 30-year retirement. If you plan to retire early, say in your 40s or 50s, your money might need to last for 40, 50, or even 60 years. For these longer time horizons, a 4% withdrawal rate might be too aggressive. Some financial planners now suggest a more conservative 3% or 3.5% rule for early retirees to increase the odds of success. Another major risk is sequence of returns risk. If a major market downturn happens in your first few years of retirement, withdrawing 4% from a diminished portfolio can do permanent damage. Withdrawing from a portfolio that has just lost 30% of its value is much more harmful than withdrawing after a year of strong gains. The timing of market returns matters immensely in the early years. The rule also assumes your spending will be consistent, simply adjusting for inflation. In reality, spending can be lumpy. You might spend more on travel early on and more on healthcare later in life. Furthermore, the rule is based on historical data from the US markets. Future returns are not guaranteed to look like past returns, and some experts worry that future growth may be lower. Because of these factors, it's best to view the 4% rule as an excellent starting point for a conversation, not the final, unchangeable word on your retirement plan. Flexibility is key. Given the limitations, many people look for ways to make the 4% rule more robust. Instead of a rigid rule, you can adopt a more flexible or dynamic withdrawal strategy that adapts to changing conditions. One popular alternative is the guardrails method. You set a target withdrawal rate like 4%, but you also set upper and lower limits, or guardrails, for example, at 5% and 3%. If a great market year grows your portfolio significantly, your withdrawal might fall to 3% of the new total. The guardrail method would allow you to take more, up to 5%, giving yourself a raise. Conversely, if the market has a bad year and your 4% withdrawal amount becomes 5% of your now smaller portfolio, the guardrails would force you to cut back your spending to protect your principal. This flexible approach helps you take advantage of good years while protecting you from the worst effects of bad years. It requires more active management, but can greatly increase the longevity of your portfolio. Another strategy is to have a cash bucket. You can keep 1 to 3 years of living expenses in cash or very safe investments. This way, you don't have to sell stocks during a market downturn. Ultimately, the best strategy might be a hybrid one. Use the 4% rule to calculate your initial savings goal, but plan to be flexible with your withdrawals once you are actually retired. The key is to have a plan, but also to be ready to adapt it. Your retirement could last decades, and being able to adjust your strategy along the way is the smartest plan of all. So, what's the final verdict on the 4% rule? Despite its flaws, it remains one of the most powerful tools available for retirement planning. It provides a vital starting point for everyone. It demystifies the process of saving for retirement. By transforming a vague, lifelong goal into a single, concrete number, it makes the entire challenge feel more manageable and achievable. Remember the 2 simple steps. First, estimate your annual expenses in retirement. Be thorough and realistic about the lifestyle you want to fund. This is your foundation. Second, multiply that annual expense number by 25. This is your target. This is the amount of invested assets you need to achieve financial independence according to this guideline. Whether your number is $500,000 or $5 million, knowing your target is the first step toward reaching it. You can't hit a target you can't see. Use this rule as your guide, but remember to stay flexible. Consider your personal timeline, risk tolerance, and be prepared to adjust your withdrawal strategy in retirement based on market conditions. The journey to retirement is a marathon, not a sprint. The 4% rule doesn't run the race for you, but it provides an excellent map to help you find your way to the finish line. We encourage you to take a few minutes after this video to calculate your own number. It might just be the most important financial calculation you ever make. Thanks for watching, and happy planning.